He's with us as well. He's Managing Director at Crosseas Capital Services. Rajesh, good morning. Good to have you with us here. Thanks very much. So why don't we dive a little deeper in terms of exactly the mechanics of this, Rajesh? Because how this affects retail investors and how this affects high HFTs, algos, etc., is different. So in very simple sort of language, Rajesh, for viewers who are watching, what has happened and how is this going to be different from how things were done?
So earlier the exchanges were following, or currently the exchanges are following a graded transaction cost structure where they start with a headline number, and as you pile on more volumes, your the next set of volumes will come at a lower cost, or you will be rebated certain amounts from the headline number. So if you're aggregating a lot of volume under your banner, you would end up with a weighted average cost of trading which is much lower than the headline number. But because you're charging everybody the headline number, which was also correct as per current rules, you were making the spread between the weighted average cost that you were charged eventually and the headline number that you were receiving from everybody. So for the discount broking houses, as Anuj rightly said, this number was very, very significant because they were clearly aggregating a huge amount of volume. I mean, 2 or 3 brokers together were concentrating about 35% of all retail volumes in India. So obviously, their individual volumes were high enough to put them in the lowest slab possible, whereas they collected at the headline rates. So that spread was kept by them as other income or whatever you may call it. That practice is going to stop. On the other hand, SEBI has also told the exchanges, but you know, based on all the discounts you were given, what was your average realization or weighted average cost realization, and you should not go and charge the current headline number, but arrive at your weighted average realization, and from the first rupee of transaction, charge everybody a flat rate, which is closest to this average realization that you were getting today. So the total cost of trade for everybody will come down, but for those who are doing a very high volume and concentrating volumes either as a client-based trade, which is the discount broking houses, or certain algorithmic trading brokerages, for example, Share India and some other brokerages that were doing very high levels of proprietary volume, the weighted average cost for those brokers will go up.
So 2 questions, Rajesh. You're saying that for everyone, for viewers who are watching, right? I mean, their own cost, transaction cost will come down. That's point number 1?
Yes. Yes,
right?
Because the second paragraph of SEBI's circular clearly states that the exchanges can't charge today's headline number,
yes,
but they have to look at their average realization that they're getting based on these discounts. And from the get-go, charge that as the flat rate structure.
Okay. Now, second, what does it do to volumes, options volumes? Does it, will this have an impact? Because we don't have exact data, but, you know, this HFT, prop, etc. would be a very large share of the overall trading volumes. What does it do to the overall volumes in the option market, spreads, etc.?
So what's going to happen is some of these algorithms which generate a huge amount of volume are working on the new old variable cost structure where they already take into account because it's predicted by them that this is the kind of volumes they will do and they will know what is the weighted average cost of trade to them. So they work on a variable cost which is much lower than the headline number. And because of that, they are able to slim their spreads when they're quoting and engage in doing a lot of volume. Now that the number will not change. For example, it will just be the headline number, maybe beginning at a lower price, but the weighted average cost to them will go up significantly. They'll have to price in a higher spread, and I don't know, only time will tell, but I predict that there will be some hit to the HFT side of the business, and maybe the volumes on that side of the business will come down.
Just last question, Rajesh. For exchanges, for brokers, of course, this is a hit. For exchanges, what does this mean? Will they be able to manage, or will there be a hit to earnings there as well?
So the way the SEBI circular it says is to begin with, it will be very neutral for the exchanges because they're going to simply look at the total realization that they get today divide by the turnover that they're doing, and they'll come out with a weighted average realization, and that is the headline number they will charge. But if HFT volumes were to suffer because of the headline number, which for them is much higher than what they are paying today, then overall volumes will come down a bit, and to that extent, the exchanges might be hit.
Okay, we will leave it at that, Rajesh. Thanks a lot for joining in and telling us, about this issue and what one should be doing from here on. But we still have about 20 minutes left for the pre-opening